Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and today I am working on my 100-day project, and this is day 47, and yep, I have a big piece of bark. I actually went for a walk the other day, back on day 47, might have even been day 46, and was looking for a particular piece of bark. My neighbors, house, their yard. It used to be my grandma's. Now it's my cousin that lives there. I know, long story. Family compound, whatever. But they had trees that when I was a kid growing up, we called them monkey trees. And they would trim them back every year. And they had bark that would pop off. And it just reminded me of puzzle pieces. And it was a lighter color bark. So I went looking for that. Well, that will be tomorrow's, so you'll see it next, the next one. But I also found this piece of bark, and so I figured, well, I would just collect them both. And so, yeah, that's why I came to have bark. And so I have this jelly print that has this fun, I don't know, Moroccan style stencil going on in it, and I decided it would be fun to put some of that. I don't know if that's bronze or antique Aztec gold or something. Anyway, it was a piece of tissue that I had with the color on it. Probably had just cleaned up a jelly plate with it. And yeah, so we're going to have a little bit of that along the edge and then do some purple. I haven't done a lot of purple, but I really like this combination. I'm not sure how I felt at the time. Obviously, I liked it, but I think it's growing on me more and more. I felt like it seemed really dark and heavy, especially with that big piece of bark on it. But I'm liking it. And this purple, I believe, is just brayered off paint that I just cleaned off my brayer with when jelly printing and just hung on to it. See, that's why we keep our scraps. Have way too many scraps though. And doing this project, I'm generating a lot more. But I feel like maybe I'm using up some paper. You would think with all these I've done, this is the 47th one, that I'd be running out of paper soon. No, it's not. It's not running out. I do want to do another jelly print session because I want some more variety. Because I've repeated through the same packs. I don't know if you've noticed any repeating papers, but I've gone through them several times now. Of course, as of this video, I think it's like day 62, 63, something like that. So this piece of bark is a little bit curved. I'm going to put glue on it everywhere and then put a book on it to hold it down so that it will secure. And I mean, all of my pages are ending up curved anyway, that I wasn't too worried about the bark making it curvy, but yeah. Alright, so here is the other piece, and it's not as white as I remember, but it was a light color and I thought it was interesting. And oh, I should edit out this leaf thing because it doesn't end up on there. I do all this stuff to it and it doesn't end up on there. Okay, I'm gonna cut that out. 1 second. I think with that leaf pattern, I was kind of thinking of the one I did before that I really liked. I think it's the one that has like a wooden raft or something, and I put a leaf on there. Not a real leaf, just a jelly printed one, and was kind of wanting to reflect that, but yeah, it's not happening. So this is the background I picked, and it is cardstock, so I have to use a real paper trimmer to cut this. I can cut it, just tearing it with the ruler, but it's a lot easier to deal with. I use my paper trimmer. And I tried to do it without cutting the entire sheet of paper. So just trying to cut out the section that I want. There we go. So how is everyone today? This is going up hopefully on the day before Easter. So I hope if you celebrate it, you all have a wonderful Easter. And if you don't celebrate it, have a wonderful weekend. Here it's supposed to be good weather, I think, until about 5. And then it says thunderstorms. We plan on having a picnic, so hopefully the thunderstorms wait. This piece of bark is really thin and quite brittle. So, and I'm using E6000 or Gorilla Glue. It's like E6000 to glue it down, and then you'll see I push on it and it actually breaks. Yeah. I think right there it breaks, right in that section. So I figured I needed a contrasting color to the blue, so I just grabbed some of this fabric I have from one of those rag rugs they had at what's that store called? Five Below. Yeah, they had rag rugs that are all like sari silk, and I found one. I had to go to 2 or 3 of those stores, and I took the entire rug apart and I rolled all the fibers into balls and put them in some containers. So now I have as much sari silk as I would ever want, and I hardly ever use it. So during this 100-day project, I think I've used it. So far I've used it. Have I used it? Maybe once, twice. In this series of videos, I know I used it at least twice. So, and the last project on this video is a little interesting. Completely different from most of my style. But it was fun playing around anyway. So I'm just tucking this underneath the bark, just to have it poking out a little bit, because I obviously didn't think about it ahead of time. So, yeah. Trying to decide where I should have it sticking out at. There we go. So, I think it's about done. I wanted to make sure it didn't break anymore and fall apart. So I coated it with matte medium, and look how orangey it got. So I really liked the white. I'm not sure if this helps or not, but I did kind of a dry brushing over with the white gesso, and I do that and then I rub it back, and I feel like it did lighten the bark a little bit, but it was not what I wanted. I wanted the original color of the bark. But live and learn, right? I've been coating everything with matte medium so it won't fall apart on me. So there's that one. And then the next one, this one is one of my favorites, I think. It is day 49. I think. And we're back to the brown and yellows. And, it's not a color I gravitate towards, but I'm really liking these. You can see me there trying to frame it to see what section of this paper I want to use. And I decide I'm going for the lighter side. And this, I believe, is deli paper. So it's a little see-through, but I don't think it affects anything else. I'm not going to layer anything underneath it, just on top of it. So, and I decide I want a piece of this jelly print that has some of that yellow in there. So I took that top little corner, and now I'm thinking about how I want it, how much, and where I'm going to divide it, where it's going to sit. And I was thinking I wanted this, and I I think I edited that out. I end up not using that piece at all. I watch people that do like abstract collage, a couple of them, and they talk about what they're thinking and all this stuff. I don't remember. And I don't know if I know how to articulate what my brain is doing, because I don't know what my brain is doing. I think I've mentioned this before, but when I'd create stuff before I started filming, I'd go back and look at it, and I'm like, I don't know how I made that. I have no idea. No idea how I made that. How I even came up with that. So now that I record a lot of stuff, I do have a better idea of what went into what I created. And, a lot of this stuff is just winging it. It really is. It amazes me that I can produce multiples that I like. I mean, I can't say that I love every single one of these that I've done. There's quite a few that I really like. And yeah, I surprise myself. Is that weird? I don't know if that's weird. I decided I want to use one of my little scribbly ink things for this one. So we're just going to take this one that fits along the side. And that's done. I can't remember if it was tracing paper or onion skin. It's kind of a brittly sort of paper and fairly transparent. I'm just rubbing it, trying to make it really see-through. And then there's going to be my bit of nature. It's a dried flower that I think really goes well with the painted papers. And it's weird because it was like super flat. I mean, it was a little thick, but it was really flat and smooth. And I've noticed this with all of the dried things that I've put matte medium on. They start to plump up and curl and stuff. And I don't know. I guess that's okay. I really liked how flat it was when I first did it. But I still like it. Okay, so I put the matte medium, but I still also put the glue because I want to make sure it's going to stick. And we'll just have it living right there. I'm just using the brush to push it down since it's still got the matte medium on it. And there we have it. That one is a favorite, day 49. So the next one is day 50. Halfway through, can you believe it? And this one, this is a jelly print, like a cleanup print. It's got all kinds of weirdness on there. And it has stencil. The stencil, I think, is, pretty sure it's Patty Tolly Parrish's stencil. And it's either hers or Robin's. No, I'm pretty sure it's Patty's. And it's just kind of got an Asian vibe to it. And the colors that I use, I end up using a bit of red and that yellow that you see over there on the side. And I don't know, just has a real Asian sort of vibe, I think. And this is another one that I really like how it ends up. And I'm doing all this, and this is what I mean. I start with one thing in mind. Like, I think I was going to go for maybe half and half. Like, I was getting it all squared up, trying to make it look right, and then change midstream, and I just use a chunk of that red instead of that whole section. Trying to tear that little teeny piece. Just pull out the scissors, Margelle. That's me, by the way. My name's Margelle, in case you didn't know. I named my channel The Shelly Studio because my last name is Shelly, and I have lots of creative family members, and the original plan was to include them if they wanted to. Nobody really wanted to. Apparently nobody's as crazy as I am and starting a YouTube channel. Now I'm just fiddling, trying to decide what should go where. And I'm still thinking I'm going to do that piece. But I end up going with the yellow, and I think the yellow was the wise choice. And I haven't even thought of my piece of nature yet. Just so you know. This wasn't worked out around the piece that I put on here, but it really worked. I'm going to dry me some more flowers because I've been using a bunch of flowers and I really don't have that many. It's not like it's not like something I do. Like, these dried plants and flowers, I think I've had for years. That's why they're so dry and brittle. Because the pressed flowers, at least, I've had for a really long time. They were stuck in a book, an old dictionary. All right. So it's like a wall with is it called wainscoting, and a frame hanging on the wall. And there's the piece of nature. Isn't that fun? No idea where that flower came from. But apparently at some point I decided it was worth pressing. I think I have like 3. I've used this one before. I'm using matte medium rather than gloss medium. The last time I did one of these flowers, I used gloss medium and I was not happy. But I do like how the matte medium looks. It just looks more natural. Just use the paintbrush to push it down with the glue on it. And I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and just cut the stem right there. So that was day 50? Yeah. So here is day 51, and we can say these colors are in honor of spring and Easter. And I decide to use some of my fabrics. So I picked this piece of paper, this print, and there wasn't really anything else in the bundle that I drew from that went with this piece of paper. Not sure how it ended up there, but I really wanted to use it for some reason. So, and it's on rice paper. So I decided I'm just going to glue it down and we'll figure it out. So I've pulled out some of those sari silks or I don't know what kind of material they are, that I thought the colors would go with. And I'm just going to cut out some bits of that to go with. And I think I'm going to speed it up just a little bit more here because it does take a little bit of time. Yeah, I just fiddle with it all. Decide I don't want the bright, so I'm cutting out a little bit of the purple. And then just a little bit of that tannish color. Now I don't have any idea where I want to put it. I decide in the end to kind of layer it down there on the bottom. And if I had a working sewing machine, I might have sewn it. That would have been good. But as I don't, it's all glue and it's all good. And I did fray that purple. I like the frayed look. And that pink piece is just kind of really wonky cut, so I'm going to use my acrylic, I don't know what that thing's called, for what it's meant for, and cutting fabric. And I've got me a straighter piece to put on there. And the smaller one won't be quite as overwhelming. Just sticking it on there, and I don't want it to be perfect. I want it scrunched up. Trying to use tools other than my fingers because they're getting sticky. Alright, and I decide, yeah, that's what I've got, is a stick. So, since I just had a stick, I figured I would just tie some of those fibers onto the stick, and that will be my decoration and my piece of nature. So, as I'm finishing this one up, I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Love to hear your comments. And I appreciate you watching, especially if you've made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't a subscriber and think you might be interested in what I create or what's going to come next, think about subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you are alerted whenever I upload a new video. And thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.